All right, guys. So yesterday we did question number 8. That's where we stopped. But even though we did question number 8 yesterday, I'm still going to do it again just because the second review starts with question number 8. There's questions for number 8. So if I look at 55 degrees and I look at B, they're both angles are the side of a line, which kind of looks like half of a circle. I'm just going to add them up. B plus 55, and they equal to 180. It's, you notice it's half of a circle. So let me subtract 55 from each side. B in this case is 125. All right. Once again, I know we did it yesterday, but homework from today starts with that question. Now, let me take a look at my from the review questions 9 and 10. From question number 9, you have to know the titles. We're looking at parallel lines with a transversal. There's my transversal. If the angles are on different sides of the transversal, one on the left, one on the right, then we're talking about the alternates. I know that's not the case for number 9, but if they were on different sides of the transversal, that we're talking about the alternates, either alternate interior, both of them are inside the parallel lines, or alternate exterior, both of them are outside of the lines. Kind of like if you look at number 10, those are alternate exterior. So those are the alternates. Same side interior, well, it makes sense. They're both on the same side. They're both interior. That's very easy to tell. Now here in this case, angle X and angle Y, they're on the same side of the transversal. In this case, the right side. One of them is interior. One of them is exterior. So this is what we call corresponding. I'm only going to capitalize the first letter. So of course, this case is corresponding. When I look at my example number 10, I have alternate exterior angles, and I know alternate exterior angles equal each other. So I'm just going to say 100 equals 14x plus 2. I'm going to subtract 2 from each side. So 98 equals 14x. Divide both sides by 14. X in this case is 7. So questions 23 to 28 on the final, know the names. 25 to 34, know how to use them. Any questions on these? No. Now, looking at our question number 11, we're dealing with the angles inside of the triangle, right? There's 3 angles, so I'm just going to add them up. That question mark, I'm going to call it X because I don't know how big is it. So I'm going to call it X. So I'm going to add the 3 angles, 60 plus 45 plus X, and it's going to equal to 180. The 3 angles of a triangle equal 180. Now, the left side of the equal sign, at least I can combine 60 plus 45. That's 105. So I have that 105 plus X is equal to 180. To get the X by itself, let me subtract 105 on each side. X in this case is 75. And you have 2 of these on the final. Any questions on these? No? Now, our examples 12 and 13, let me take a look at 13 first. I know 12 is before 13, but let me take a look at 13. When we have the coordinates, so we're asking to find the midpoint of each line segment. So to get the X value, I'm going to look at the X values of the coordinates. And I'm going to add the numbers, 10 plus a negative 1. And whatever I get, I'm going to divide it by 2. So the X value, so I'm just looking at the X values. 10 plus a negative 1 is 9. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. That's the X value. Now to look at the Y value, I'm going to add the Y's, 5 plus 5, and then also divide that by 2. 5 plus 5 is 10 divided by 2. The Y value will be 5. So those are the coordinates of my midpoint. So for the X value, I added the X's divided by 2. For the y value, I added the y's and divided by 2. Make sure whenever you guys type it on your answer, there's a space after the comma. Now, looking at question number 12, when it is a picture, you can get the coordinates of the endpoints. If we look at the first point, the coordinates are -3, 4. If I look at the other point, my coordinates are 3, -4. Now that I have the coordinates, I can do what I did on number 13. For the x value, I'm going to add the x's and divide it by 2. -3 plus 3 is 0. 0 divided by 2. My x value is 0. To get the y, I'm going to add the y's. 4 plus a -4 and divided by 2, which is also 0. And just to double check it, I even graph my point 0, 0. It looks right in the middle, so it makes sense. Any questions on these? No? Okay. Now let's take a look at number 14. I know I gave you guys a table, which is on the board. Bless you. Bless you. I'm going to check, first of all, if it's reflection or rotation. If you guys can see it, then just write the rule, because that's the instruction. Write a rule to describe each transformation. So if you see it, just type it in. If you don't, then I suggest you guys follow a point. I'm going to follow the point T. If you notice, the coordinates of T are 4, 3. The point that I'm going to follow, I make sure that the numbers, the x and the y numbers are different, because I want to see if the numbers swap. So I want to see, make sure they're different. And I also want to make sure that none of them is 0, because I also want to check if the sign changes. And I cannot do that with 0. So T is 4, 3. T prime is -4, -3. So I look at the numbers, and first I ask myself, 4, 3, -4, 3, I ask if my numbers swapped, which they did not. So I'm just going to write x and y. It did not swap. Then I ask myself, did any of them switch signs? I see 4 became -4, so yes, the x did switch signs. I see 3 became -3, so it did switch signs. So then I'm looking on my table. Rotation 180. Thank you. Rotation 180. You see a vertical line on the table? The rule is everything before that. After the line, that's what happens. Now, rotation and reflection, I'm going to use the same numbers. Either going to swap, signs are going to change. That's only in reflection and rotation. If my numbers totally change, like a 3 becomes a 5, like numbers totally change, then that's translation. So sometimes you guys will see it. I know on the homework, you guys can tell black is first, blue is second. You can tell difference of color. On the test, it's black and black. So use the notation.
Does it matter what point we had used?
It doesn't matter which point you choose. It will do, all of them will do the same thing. But make sure that I follow T. The first point is T. The second point is T prime. Make sure you guys use the notation on the test. Because on the test is black and black. Here, homework is black and blue. But on the test, it's all black. Make sure you use the notation, because I don't have a color printer. All right. Any questions?